Okay, girls, factorising is the reverse process of expanding. So, to factorise, you will take the highest common factor out and we'll put that in front of the brackets. And then what we'll do is fill inside the brackets. Now, girls, looking at 6a and 12, what is common in the numbers? If you look at 6 and 12, what number goes? So 6 is common. There's nothing common with the letters, with the pronumerals. So how am I going to get 6a? 6 times what? 8. And then, because this is a positive, they're both positive, my next term is positive as well. 6 times 2 gives me 12. Okay, the next one. Girls, you've got to look at the numbers and each type of pronumeral separately to work out what to take out as your highest common factor. Look at the numbers. What's in common? A common factor. And this is x times x. So 3 is in common. This is x times that x, and that's an x. So 3x is the common factor. 3x times what gives me x squared? Now, that's a positive times a positive. A positive times a negative will give me the negative here. What do I need? What am I missing? I've got enough x's. I'm missing the 2. So just always check. It says always check your factorized answer by mentally multiplying out your expression. Let's check. 3x squared minus 6x works. Okay? You should always do that. The next one. Look at the numbers first. 5 is in common. That's got an A. That's got 2. So there's one A in common. No B's in both, so it can't come out. What's the first term missing? A B. It'll be a plus. We're missing 2, and we're missing another A. 5AB plus 10A squared. Okay, girls, when you've got a negative as your first term here, pull out the negative factor. So there's a negative common to both, pull it out. Even if there's not a negative common to both, if your first term's negative, you pull out negative. What's in common between 4 and 12? 4. Nothing else is in common. So, negative 4 times what? T. And negative 4 times plus 3. Negative 4t, negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. Are we okay? All right, girls, 3 terms here. Look at the numbers. What's in common? Yeah, there's something else in common. Numbers first, then x's. There's only y in the middle term, so it's not common to everything. What do we need to make up the first term? Another 2x. All right, positive times positive. The next term's negative. What do I put? Minus. Now, what am I missing? A y. So I've got 10x squared minus 5xy. The last term's plus 15x. What am I missing? And plus or minus? Okay, are we good? I think yeah. All right, girls, as I said before, if there's a negative out the front, first term is a negative, you pull out the negative. So pull out negative. All right, what's in common between 8? 4 is in common. A is in common. Bracket. What are you missing? 2a, that gives me negative. All right, a negative times a negative is a positive. And 4a times 3 is 12a. Someone has just said, let's say you don't take the negative out at the front and you just take out 4a. So if you just took out the 4a, this would have to be minus 2a. You get it? Plus 3. Now, but I prefer to take the negative out. Now, the thing is, if you don't take the negative out, you'll see the back and your answers will look different. Now, I've taken out just 4a. Now, girls, it's really not normal to see the negative 2a plus 3 written like that. What you'll see in the answers, the 3 will be first because it's plus, and minus 2a will be like that. So, girls, that top row here and this are exactly the same thing. Because if you multiply them out, you'll get 12a plus 12a minus 12a. Sorry, no. 12a minus 8a squared, it's exactly the same thing. So, look, it is protocol to pull out the negative first. Now, Now sometimes what you're going to pull out to the front is a whole bracket. So this means m times x minus y plus n times x minus y. What's in common for both of those expressions is the x minus y in brackets. See, you've got one term and another term. Terms are separated by pluses or minuses. See, that's one term and that's another term separated with a plus. This m times x minus y is one term and the n times x minus y is another term. So I'm pulling out the x minus y. What's missing from the first term? The m. And so that's done. What's missing from the second term? Plus n. So girls, I pulled out, I'm going to underline what I pull out. I've pulled out the x minus y and I've pulled out the x minus y. Look what's left. Look what's left. M plus n. This can be factorized further because there's a common factor in both those terms. So what I've written on the right here is simpler than what's written there. You know, when we factorize, we're pulling out something common in the two terms. And x minus y is in common, so it comes out. What's left over? M plus n. Okay, girls, in the next one, is there anything common between that term and this one? It's 1 minus k. Or L, I don't know if it's a 1 or an L. What's left over? If I pull those out, what's left over? 8 minus 3m. Shh. Between those brackets, see normally what comes out the front, 5x comes out. When you see bracket, that means multiplied by, because that 5x is multiplied by all of that. So when I put this other bracket, it means this bracket gets multiplied by that bracket. We're doing that next week. They're called binomial expansions and we're doing them next week. Okay, in the last one, 15 and 12, what's in common? They're both in the 3 times tables. P squared and P. How many P's do I pull out? 1 or 2? 1. There's 2 in the first one and there's 1 in the second. There's only 1 that's common to both. Now, Q. How many Q's are common to... 3. I've got Q cubed and Q to the power of 4. There's 3 cubes. 3 Q's in each one. Minimum. Minimum. That's the common factor. What's left over? How am I going to make 5? Yep, look at the P's. 1 P, that's right. No more Q's. Minus 3 times what? 4. Are the P's already done? What am I missing? A Q. Girls, let's have a look. 15p squared q cubed minus 12p q to the power of 4. Girls, it's that times that, that times that. Okay, can you please do the other side? I'll give you a few minutes and we'll restart the video. Okay, just checking the answers. 4 is the common factor, x plus 5. Common factor here is 3 with the numbers and a y, and we get 4y minus 3. Common factor here is 3 and an x, you get y plus 3x. Common factor here, because the first term's negative, pull out a negative. 3 is also in common. X plus 4 it would be, minus 3x minus 12. Always check your answers, 3x, y plus 9x squared, etc. Pull out the common number 4. In the pronumerals, there's definitely an a in each of those terms. There's nothing else in common. This would be 3a. The next term's negative, so a positive times a negative, we're missing a b. And the last one will be plus 2. The next term has a negative out the front. Pull out a negative common factor. 3 is in common with the numbers, and there's at least one x. We're missing an x, and we'd have a minus. Minus, because a negative times a negative is a positive. Minus 5. The next one, you've got 2 terms. A minus b is in common. What's left over? 3 plus x. 2 minus x is in common. 5 plus 3x. And the last one. What's left will be a 4. 4 is in common. There's an x squared as a minimum in each and a y squared. All right, first term, we need a 5 to make 20. We need another 2 x's. We've got enough y's. Minus, we need a 3 to make 12. There's enough x squareds, and we're missing a y squared. And that's the end of factorising.